What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are going to be doing an actual rank up of a hero. But before we get to that, if you are new to the channel, please do me the biggest favor and hit that subscribe button. Also be sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a brand new video. I usually try to do at least 2 to 3 videos a week, so that would be super helpful to me. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be looking at 3 very specific heroes that I have been debating between which one I actually want to rank up. And those 3 would be Iida, Aizawa, and Stain. Now, that may seem like a weird group of heroes to be choosing between, but let me explain why in just a second. Now, out the gate, you'll notice that these 3 heroes have 2 things in common. 1, they are each speed characters, and 2, if you've been paying attention to this game or to the community at all, you would know that each of these characters has a great potential to do amazing damage in various modes of gameplay. Starting with Iida, I have seen some of the most ridiculous gameplay out of Iida from the time that this game has come out. Iida was originally considered one of the worst characters to probably be coming into Strongest Hero, but once people really understood how to utilize his quirk and really utilize his abilities, he's been able to take down bosses in one attempt as long as you know how to use his combos and understand how to really maximize his playstyle. Next, there's Aizawa, and Aizawa is relatively new to me because I wasn't able to get him at the start of the game, but he's somebody that has a great amount of potential as well. From everything that I'm hearing from people in the community, he's a really good option when it comes to taking down bosses, as well as the one area where I really got to know Aizawa, which is in PvP. And then there's Stain, who's the new kid on the block, and he's definitely got that new shine to him, but he also backs it up with an amazing playstyle and the ability to do ridiculous combos and do a great deal of damage as well. So, with me owning each of these characters, I eventually found myself in a situation where I had to choose who did I want to rank up. So what I'm going to do in this video, or at least attempt to do, is give you guys the pros and cons of each of these heroes and then explain to you why I'm choosing to go with a specific hero by the end of this video. Now, as you can see on the screen, another reason why I'm stuck choosing between these 3 is that I have a ton of points to put into somebody's talent tree. Currently, Iida's sitting at the lowest with only 1 point in his talent tree, but I still have to figure out who I want to give the rest of these points to, so I'm basically going to be using this video as a way to help me make that decision. So with all that said, let's go ahead and look at the first option that I'm stuck choosing between, which is Iida. Now, Iida is currently the highest level character that I have between these 3, and it's mainly because I've had him the longest, and he was the first speed character that I started building outside of Midoriya. And for a while, Iida was somebody that I really tried to get to learn. As you can see, there is a video on my channel where I failed miserably at learning and trying to play Iida, but I at least tried. Because Iida does have some crazy potential. Again, you can look on any number of YouTube channels that have any type of My Hero Academia content, and they probably have an insane Iida solo that they were able to do. And it's really, really fun to watch. And this is basically based off of his quirk, where they give him the ability to build up his engine power, and once he gets to 200%, you're able to do a lot of crazy damage. And then if you're able to combine that with his ultimate attack, again, do one giant burst of damage, which is really, really good when you're taking on some of these boss battles that have really, really high health pools. So there's a lot of upside when it comes to Iida. However, for me, there is a pretty big drawback to his playstyle, which is his playstyle, probably more than anybody else's in the game, requires you to really be on point with every step of his playstyle. One slip and one mess up, and you've prolonged a fight longer than you probably wanted to, or you've probably lost a fight that you should have been able to win had only you actually kept up with his playstyle and kept his speed meter up and kept his engine power up. So as you can see in this gameplay here, the name of the game is getting him up to 200%. And there's a number of ways that you can do this. Obviously, by attacking into your opponent, you start building up speed. And then if you use his W ability, you can actually build up to that speed a little bit faster. So it makes it easier to build up your meter. And then what you want to do is actually hit his special ability to bank it once you have the bar completely full, and then use your Q ability to quickly build up to larger chunks because it basically starts to multiply itself. Now, again, the difficulty with Iida though is doing this consistently throughout a fight. It may be easy to do it in certain matchups, and when done properly, it pays off in a big way. However, the minute you have too much space between you and an opponent, or the minute you just fail to get close enough to an opponent to actually continue a combo, and if you get knocked down, you can almost guarantee that you're going to be starting over from 0% and trying to build back up to that 200% just to get that big burst of damage. And again, for those that are really skilled at playing Iida, this isn't a problem. They know how to mitigate the spacing. They understand how to utilize his playstyle and able to do ridiculous things too, so that it pays off every single time they use him. However, for me, I find this playstyle to be a little difficult and a little too stressful for my liking. You're already in most of these boss fights trying to stay alive or get a boss down in a certain amount of time. And the last thing I want to have to deal with is wondering if I have his playstyle down perfectly, or being so tight on my playstyle that I can't make a mistake or can't make too many of the same mistake. So for that reason alone is probably why I can't go with Iida. Even though I do have 6-star chips for him, he's really set up to kind of take that next step and be one of the heroes that I use on a pretty regular basis. But honestly, his playstyle just doesn't fit me and doesn't fit the way that I enjoy playing a hero. And like I said, his playstyle is a little stressful. So for that reason, I can't really pick Iida in this one. Now, next on the list is Aizawa, and Aizawa is someone that I'm just now becoming more familiar with, even though I pulled him a little over 2 weeks ago. But when I originally pulled Aizawa, I wasn't hearing a lot of great things about him, and it's mainly because people were really trying to stay on their toes about their rebate tickets, and they weren't sure if they should waste them on Aizawa. So that's why he's still currently at level 30. He is going to take more resources to get up to a level where I could use him consistently. But he is worth it, is what I've been able to find out from playing him in both PvP and just having conversations and seeing how people talk about him in Discord chats, or even in one of my most recent videos where somebody even mentioned him as a really good option for boss fights, which is something I can definitely see based on his playstyle. Now, unlike Iida, Aizawa definitely fits my playstyle a lot more in comparison, even though they are the same type of character, with them both being speed characters. But in my opinion, Aizawa plays a lot more like Deku, and for me, that's an actual more enjoyable experience. There's a reason why Deku is the character that I use the most, even though he may not be the most practical based off of damage or anything like that. His playstyle is so much easier to do, where there's not a lot of pressure on keeping up a combo up or messing up a playstyle. Aizawa literally flows and plays just at a smoother rate than a lot of other characters do. And I really discovered this when actually putting him into PvP, which you can see in another video that I did earlier or late last week, where I kind of show off Stain and Aizawa in PvP. And so originally I'm just like, yo, Aizawa's probably going to be the reason I'm going to play more PvP, because he's just so much fun to use. And he's a problem that a lot of people have to figure out how to deal with in PvP. But another thing that really made me start considering Aizawa is the fact that I started seeing him more and more in co-op battle lineups. And he's a problem to deal with even in those matchups as well, where my AI teams would consistently run into issues with getting him down, or especially if he's paired up with Endeavor or Momo or Uraraka, he's really difficult to deal with because he literally can just move across the map so easily. So there's a reason why Aizawa's really, really high up on my list for a hero that I may choose between him and Stain. Now, he does have more talent points than Iida, so again, he's a little further along in that regard. While he may be behind as far as his actual level, he is further ahead in his talent tree, and he's also in the same boat with Iida, where they both have 6-star chipsets. Again, Aizawa's is a little more leveled up just because once I got him, I did get really excited and put more points into him, not really thinking about this video in the long run. So as you can see, I'm already really close to building out the branch on the top right. So again, getting Aizawa built out isn't going to be nearly as difficult as Iida, but is he the champ that I should go with for this rank up. There's a lot of things that I like about him, but do I like those things more than what I like out of what I could get from Stain, which is the next option that we're going to talk about. And Stain is very similar to Aizawa in that I just got him recently, had to go full pity in his banner to get him. And because of his low level, I haven't got to use him a ton, but in the areas where I have gotten to use him, I really enjoy his playstyle and I really enjoy what he offers as a character. And I could definitely see myself using him even more based off of everything that he has to offer. He has a control mechanic with his W ability. He has an instant combo with his E ability. And then basically he can just kind of rip off this ridiculous frenzy of a combo, which is just insane. And then his ultimate ability allows you to kind of go have this long distance ability. So there's a lot to like about what Stain brings to the game. I even like the fact that his dodge mechanic actually has a hit attached to it as well. So there's a lot to like about Stain. He's really good in PvP, not nearly as good as Aizawa, but he's still really, really good. And I'm getting to the point in co-op battles where I'm starting to see him at least be added to teams here and there. Again, I haven't seen him be necessarily a problem the same way Aizawa has been, but people are at least trying to add him onto the team, and it makes sense based off of his utility and the fact that, again, that he has a control mechanic and he has these ridiculous combos and the ability to kind of just add and apply damage at a really, really consistent rate. Now, also like Aizawa, he does have more points in his talent tree than Iida does, so it wouldn't be all that difficult for me to build out one entire branch and then at least get halfway through another branch if I were going to start adding points into his skill tree. Now, where he is behind is that he doesn't have a 6-star chip kit like the other two. So I would have to go back into Night Ops, grind a little bit more to get that last 6-star piece, but that's not all that difficult. It's really easy to, you know, farm those pieces. So there's a reason why Stain is also in the running. And if I'm being completely honest, when it comes down to who I want to choose, it should be pretty clear that it's between either Stain or Aizawa. And I can't even lie, guys, this was a really tough decision to make. I like both of these characters a ton. They're both super useful. I could see myself using them in various modes of gameplay, and I wouldn't really be upset about choosing one or the other over the other when it comes down to it. But at the end of the day, I made this video so that I could make a choice, and that choice is going to be Aizawa. Aizawa is going to be the hero that I choose to invest all these skill points into. He's going to be the option that I just think I would be able to use him in so many different ways. He makes PvP so much fun for me. I think he's the missing link to my co-op team that really kind of like put it over the top. And I really can't wait to get him leveled up even higher so that I can actually take him into some more difficult boss fights and really put him to the test. So as you're seeing here, I was able to get that one branch filled out. I hate how many points it takes to build out your talent tree, but I'm able to kind of get him pretty high up there. I am going to end up taking some skill points away from Stain to pour into Aizawa, but it's not going to be quite enough to get me all the way to where I want to. It's a pretty good start from where I was when I originally started trying to rank him up. Now, I would not recommend you guys taking skill points from other characters and spending the hero coins to do that. That is a really big waste of hero coins. I actually have an entire video kind of warning you guys about that mistake. So if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and click the link in my description. I'll have a link to that video there. But let's go ahead and get him ranked up as quickly as possible. Let's see what we can actually get him up to really quick. Fortunately, we're going to fall just short of that level 80. So I'm going to have to grind out a lot more to get him up to level 90 and 100. But that's okay. These characters take a ton of food. The grind won't be that difficult. I'll get him there probably within the next couple of days or so. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Do you think maybe I should have went with Iida or maybe Stain? Again, this is just my opinion and based off the character that I enjoy playing the most. Not saying that there's anything wrong with the other two options. They just weren't the option that I wanted to go with this go around. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a comment below. Be sure to like the video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.